guys, I just did this pink look. It's my purple eyeliner, hope you can see that. And pink lips and pink cheeks with the new stuff I got. If you want to know how I did this, please keep on watching. Hi guys, as you can see, I'm looking a little bit of a mess. That's because it's makeup time, yay! I bought some new stuff while I was in Paris because I went to Disneyland. And I bought some new makeup stuff, so I thought it would be fun to use them on camera. And the things I actually bought were a NARS highlighter in Albatross, plastic thing in there. It's a light golden highlighter. The Naked 3 palette. So pretty. And I bought the Urban Decay Vice palette, which comes in a bag like this. Looks like that. You can see my fingers all over it. Look at that. Oh my god, it's so pretty. So, I'll be using those 3 items today. I'll just put this back in the packaging for now. So let's get started because I want to get rid of this and this really bad. So I'll be right back with a little bit of zoom. So, as if you weren't too close to my face already, here I am with all my redness. I have actually applied some vitamin E oil to my face, my neck and my chest. And I did this about 15 minutes prior to filming because it has to get absorbed by my skin or else it'll be too oily. But this is really nice. You can tell by these 2 blemishes that I forgot to use it. And my skin looks amazing when I use it because of the organic oils in it. It helps plump up your skin and with dry and rough patches. It also has jojoba oil in it. So yeah, I really like that. And I'm actually going to put some, not exactly chapstick on my lips, but 8-hour cream in a lipstick form. Just because my lips are, if you can see, but that bright red rim is really dry. So I'll be right. So this is the Elizabeth Arden 8-hour cream stick, which just looks like this. It's like a pressed form of the 8-hour cream, which I really like as well. I'm just going to let that sink in. At the end I will just blot this off and use some other lip products. So the first thing I always start with is foundation, and I am still using my Real Techniques complexion sponge because it's so soft. Don't know what I did in my last video, but this video I am going to mix some Violet Lumiere in 20 Clair and some Revlon Color Stay in, I think it's Ivory. Yeah, because this one's a little too dark and this one's a little too light, so these two make the perfect color For me at least. But till I have bumps, because I am going to take it on my neck. And then a blob of this next to that, which is a little tiny bit smaller than the AylaLasMR. So like that. I'm going to mix these two together. I did make a little much, but the sponge sucks up some of the product, so it's not too bad. So I'm going to dot the rest on my face. Like tribal makeup. Just going to use my damp sponge and start blending it in. Dampened my sponge a little tiny bit more, and I got myself a mirror so I can actually see what I'm doing. Just keep it like that. I always have a little bit of extra redness from my chin and my jawline. My skin looks extra pale right now because my lips are so red. Just going to take it down my neck a little bit. Make sure I've got some in my ears because I know my ears to be a different color than my face. it's still a little shiny, but that's because the sponge is pretty damp, so I'm just going to push it further into my skin. It looks a lot shinier on camera than it really is. This sponge is so soft. I actually did my mom's makeup, I think last week. She was just so relaxed because I used this sponge. She told me she wanted this every day. So I'm going to let this sit and move on to my eye makeup. So I always use a primer before, so my eyeshadow doesn't go everywhere. Don't use too much of this, because if you use too much, your eyeshadow will slide off. And that's exactly what you're trying to prevent. So what I always start with is I apply a little bit of my face powder to my eyes to take away most of the stickiness and to make sure the blending after this is a lot easier. So I'm just going to take my MAC 224 and whatever's in my Chanel powder cap. Just lightly dust that over there. And this is the Chanel Poudre Universelle Libre, or Natural Finish Loose Powder. And I like this because it isn't too matte, but not too shimmery either. So with that same brush, I'm going to use the Vice palette. And I'm actually going to use these two colors to make a transitioning color, which will make the lid color easier to blend with my crease color. So I'm going to use Undone first, which is this rosy brown color. The same 224, and these eyeshadows are really pigmented. I hardly even tapped it, and look at that. Just use the windshield wiper motions. the lightest matte color, which is called Truth. Just going to slightly highlight my brow bone and blend the crease color. So now with the color Downfall, which is, I just used this color, I'm going to use that color. Just going to slightly deepen up my crease, not too much. It's more like a bronzer color. And keep blending. It's better to build up than to remove. So from the Naked 3 palette, I'm actually going to use this light pink right here, which is called Dust, all over my lid, with a Sigma 239 brush, which is a stiff shader brush. And this is also really pigmented, so because Urban Decay eyeshadows do tend to fall out. It's a little glittery, but the color is nice. So I'm going to use Burnout, which is next to it, which is pretty much the same color, just a little less glittery. A little finer milled. For the highlight, I'm going to use this white matte color, which is called Strange. It's slightly satiny, but look at that color payoff. Just a subtle highlight. Nothing too stark. Lastly, I'm going to add one more color to my crease, which is this color, Limit, which is a little more on the pinky brown side, which I think will match great with my lid color, just to warm it up a little. And then for the same color I used in my inner corner, I'm going to highlight that my brow bone a little more. Make sure all the colors are blended. As you can see, I only use 2 brushes for this because you don't really need 15 brushes to do your makeup. You can, but you don't have to. I'm going to use the flat shader brush with a little bit of the pinky crease color I just used and put it under my eyes. Next step is lining my eyes, which today I'm doing with a purple liner, which is Dark Diversion from MAC, which is this really pretty dark plummy color. Well, more like an aubergine color, but it looks really pretty with pink eye looks. I'm going to use this brush. Load up my brush. Make sure the brush is pointy, so you don't have a blob of eyeliner on your eye. Just going to take my mirror and line my eyes. It looks a lot more purple on the eyes than in the pot. Now to match the other eye. Those look pretty even to me. And people always say, "You're so good at liner." Practice, 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 practice. If you're bored, practice your eyeliner. If you're not bored, practice your eyeliner. Like my trusty mascara from Clinique, High Impact. I'm going to apply a lot of mascara because I like a lot of mascara. And I really hope you can't hear the background noises. So that's lashes done. I'm just going to fill in my eyebrows and perfect the rest of my face. So as always, I'm going to fill in my brows with this eyeshadow, which is called Wedge by MAC, and a angled brush. I'm not going to overfill my brows, just define them a little bit and match the color to my hair. So for under my eyes, I'm actually going to use a little bit of a color corrector, which is this pinky color from the MAC Pro Conceal palette, and that is called Pale Pink because I am pale and pink. So I'm just going to use that under my eyes to cancel out a little bit of the blue. Usually don't have too much of blueness, but for my liking I have a little bit too much right now. I'm just going to apply that with a deluxe grease brush. see that has brightened up a whole lot already. And over that I'm going to use my Studio Finish Concealer in NW25 just to cover it up with just this. Which is slightly darker than my skin color, but I've noticed that it really works underneath my eyes. May look different on camera, but in real life it looks really good. For the rest of my blemishes, I'm going to use an NW20, which is this one, with a fine liner brush by Real Techniques, which is thin synthetic. Skin is a little bit on the dry side. Which I really don't like because my skin, I'm not used to having dry skin. Just highlight a tiny bit. I'm just going to powder. I'm going to do that with the same Chanel powder I used on my eyelid. First with this setting brush by Real Techniques for under my eyes. And on my chin. And then a big fluffy brush for the rest of my face. A little bit down my neck, my ears. So, for blush here, I'm actually going to use, where is it? Dainty by MAC, which is I think a mineralized blush, yes. This is really cute pink with an angled Sigma brush. absolutely gorgeous. Look at that glow. That's the highlighter done. I'm just going to take a little bit. Just rub it to my hands because it's really moisturizing. I am going to use a lip gloss because my lips are pretty dry. And I've got this old cargo blush. I have no idea how I got it. I think I got it in America with something as a present, I think. It's this really light pink color with a dome foot applicator. It's really not that sticky. So for the last step, I'm going to put in my pink earrings. Take down my wild hair. Yeah, let me just get my Mason Pearson. And I just realized I'm a little too pale. So I'm going to add a little bit more blush because it's easy to make yourself look really pale in these lights. I'm going to add a teeny bit of bronzer. I've got this Too Faced palette with 3 different bronzers. I'm just going to use this big fluffy brush by Real Techniques, which is the multitask brush, and use a teeny bit of that. Just on the places where the sun would hit, and then use the excess on the rest of my face and neck, so that I look slightly more alive. So I really hope you like that. Let me come a little closer. And yeah, I might just do the really dark eyes with like the orange around the edge that I posted a picture of, or an Instagram clip, I think. But since I'm going to start my day right now, I thought that might be a little heavy to walk my dog.